Hey guys, Micah from blackbearcustomkydex. I have an extremely exciting video for you today. I'm going to try to keep this relatively short. This is actually my third take because I keep getting phone calls and it shuts my video off. It's really annoying. So I finally have my phone in airplane mode like I should have done the first time around. But anyway, okay, what you're looking at here is a mounting system. Ignore the two sheets that are mounted to it currently. These are just for demonstration purposes. They're not actually a part of this order. But Austin down in Louisiana had contacted me a couple months ago, and he said that he's been searching high and low, manufactured, custom, this, that, the other, and he can't find anyone anywhere that's making what he wants. So he drew out this idea. It was a sketch of a harness system with mounting plates on the front and back, and said, is this something that you can do? And I said, man, that is an extremely great idea. I would love to take that project on. So this is that project, obviously. So let's talk about this. Originally, he'd asked for this harness system to connect to a leather plate on the front and on the back. But I talked him out of going with straight up leather because over time it's going to warp, it's going to stretch. It's just going to be a little bit more vulnerable than something with a little more rigidity to it. So we went with leather over Kydex, one of my favorite options in general for anything. I just love the look and feel of leather over Kydex. I think is just second to none. So what we have here is some burgundy dyed leather, full grain veg tan leather, and I've got some coyote tan. I just grabbed the black ones. I got some coyote tan nylon webbing that I've turned into some harness system, and we've got some black bungees, and these I actually cannibalized off of the ends of a rifle sling. Some bungee slings with HK clips on them. So he's got a Ruger SR22. He said he wants to be able to dangle from the harness as well with some HK clips, so that hopefully we'll do the trick there. And yeah, so the front and the back have a similar plate. The back plate is quite a bit bigger, as you can see. So on the front we have 8" by 6", and on the back it's 10 by 10". Okay, so the idea with it is that you can mount any number of attachments. Woo! Jeez. Just got into a fight with my stool and lost. It's been one of those days. So you can have any number of knives attached or other items attached through these drill holes, and you can have them at obviously various positions, various angles. This is one of the most versatile setups out there. And there are some things out there like these universal mounting plate kind of things. I can't remember what they're even called. But this is for like a holster essentially, and you can just make your holster and then add one of these plates, and it just goes wherever you want it to go. You don't have to worry so much about the angle and custom making a piece that fits the back and works with the drill holes. This is just going to work with pretty much anything. So I use that same kind of concept, a slightly different spacing, and created this guy here. So the whole idea with the spacing is we wanted something to be more or less universal, which for the most part is 3/4 inch intervals. So when you look at like Blade Tech, any of their, their Tech Lock, their Molly locks, their all of their stuff has 1.5 inch spacing or 3/4 inch spacing. So 1.5 is a 3/4 inch multiple. So you essentially have that same theme going throughout most of the belt clips that you see on the market. Most manufactured belt clips have 1.5 inch or 3/4 inch or some multiple thereof. So I went with that. However, then lacing them halfway between vertically and horizontally and setting up another row of them at 3/4 inches but staggered by 3/8 of an inch in either direction. Actually, I think that might be the exact spacing that this uses. I'm not 100% sure. I think it is actually. But using that using that model for spacing allows you to mount things in just a ton of different directions. And Austin, it's like I said, he looked high and low and couldn't find anyone out there making something like this. So I wanted to take it on. I've said it before, I'll say it again. the best projects that I've had have been, or the best inventions or whatever, most of them have been customer ideas. We got this guy, we got the breakaway dangler, we got the auto deploy sheaths for the Gerber MP600 and Leatherman OHT. All these are customers' ideas. So you guys out there, thank you so much for being so creative and for being willing to work with me with flexible deadlines and whatnot to try to come up with some of these experimental items. I think this one in particular is really exciting because it just kind of represents a whole new style of carrying. I know that you can carry stuff, you know, people have made stuff to carry on the chest or on the back or both before, but I think with the universality of it and with how much you can customize your own positioning and everything, this is really sweet. So just before I hit play, or record rather, I mounted a couple things to this sheath so you could see how this works. So right now we've got, this is an auto deploy sheath for my Spyderco Paramilitary 2, and this is my most popular or best-selling sheath, I guess. Just a 2-inch TDI sheath, not necessarily in black carbon fiber, but for this 2-inch TDI. So got these items set up here. It's actually kind of hard to use it from that angle, but you can see it works. That's really hard to do from that angle, actually. All right, so this, probably don't do that. But the point is that without any prep, without any measuring, without anything to double check it in advance, I was confident that because of the spacing on here, I could find something that would work at any angle for these two sheets. And I'm going to throw another one on there in just a second just to show you. So how you want to use this thing, you can, first off, you can remove these. They're just on there. You can see the bottom one set up. This is a piece of Kydex looped over part of the sling here, part of the nylon here, and just Chicago screws going through it so that it compresses and pinches and holds everything in place. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave those on there, but if you want to change out what you have for angles or for equipment altogether on the front, you can do that while you're still wearing it. It's very easy to do, at least in most positions. All you have to do is undo your shoulder straps, and then you can kind of treat it as a little drawbridge. You've got a little table to work on. Actually, that alone might be a nice little feature right there. You've got this table, kind of like the chest rig or chest pouch from Hill People Gear. The way it's kind of got that drop down front, and so maybe you just want to organize some stuff, or maybe you want to stand up and eat something, have it be able to sit comfortably. That's actually cool. I never thought of that until just now, but anyway. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to trade out my Paramilitary 2 for another fixed blade. Got a sheath in progress for Alex, and this is a Benchmade Bushcrafter 162, and I'm just going to pick 2 random eyelets to put some hardware through, and we're going to pick an angle. Now I'm going to take this knife, take that knife off first, just so I can set this one up how I want it. We're going to ignore the TDI sheath for now. We're going to focus on this guy. Alright, so how I would recommend doing this is just find one drill hole that aligns with one of your eyelets. So I'm just going to hook one up right now and screw it down just far enough to keep it in place. So we already know roughly the area that I want this in is going to be right here. Now I can choose the angle by pivoting it and finding a relatively close match. It doesn't have to be exact, but find something that's a relatively close match for the second one. 2 should be plenty as long as you have them spaced more than a ½ inch apart. It should be nice and sturdy. Alright, and get that second one cinched down, and then finish tightening up the first one. Alright, so now all you have to do is reconnect your shoulder straps. I admit it's a little bit difficult to get to them. I think if you put some kind of man, I look like I've just been hit with some itching powder or something. Maybe if you put some of those maybe I'll add them. I've got some of those elastic belt stays or something. You can keep your cord from, or your buckles from getting too separated there. But okay, so we're gonna, obviously you want to avoid having this, excuse me guys, you want to avoid having that dangling anywhere near your blade because you don't want to accidentally lance it. But that's actually really nice. I like carrying a fixed blade kind of diagonal on my chest like that. Reminds me of that Tops Operator 7 sheath I just did a few weeks ago for Sebastian. That thing was really sweet. This is going to be a similar kind of thing. And the beauty of it is that you've got options to move it laterally. You've got 360 degrees worth of angles to try it out at, depending on the sheath itself, which anything that you're putting on this should be set up as a ambidextrous kind of sheath. So you could set it up to have it draw with either hand. But I'm really pleased with this. I think this is an awesome idea. I'm so glad that Austin got in touch with me about this. And yeah, let's give you another quick look at some of this stuff. I'm going to actually take it off and show it to you up close real quick. So like I said again, when you take it off, I would just do the side straps, and then you can pull it to its loosest point. Just pull it over your head like a shirt. And I'm going to undo, I'm going to take these two sheaths off there before I forget and send them some of my knives. Sorry for the awkward pause here, guys. Just bear with me 1 second. All right. So giving you a closer look, like I said, this is, I think I had said, this is 8 inches by 6 inches. There are about 60 eyelets in the front of this thing. So you have just a ton of options. These I cannibalized from a bungee sling. I think I had said that. And yeah, I really love this color combination. I think that looks really sweet. The back plate, 10 inch by 10 inch. There are something like 290, I want to say. It might even be higher than that, 292. It was almost 300 eyelets in the back of this. So in all, you have over 350 eyelets to play around with, different spacing and whatever you want to do. But yeah, he's going to carry 2 large knives, the Condor Atrox on the back, a fixed blade on the front, and a Ruger SR22 on those bungees. So I'm really pleased with how this came out. So guys, if you're interested in something like this, definitely let me know. I would love to build another one, but I want to give you guys the disclaimer up front. This is an extremely specialized item, and it took a lot of time. It took basically 2 full days, 2 full work days to make just this, not working on anything else. The reason why it takes so long to do is because you not only have to worry about getting some dimensions right as far as the leather, you know, the leather work, whatever. Usually the leather is what takes all the time when you do a project that combines leather and Kydex. But in this case, it was the eyelets, it was the drill holes. The harness didn't even really take that long. Normally harnesses take a long time to do. But my goodness, guys, 350 plus eyelets on this thing. So I had to measure them, I had to mark them, I had to make sure that everything was straight. I had to then drill it out of the Kydex. Then I bonded the leather over the Kydex. I treated the leather, and then I drilled holes in the leather through the Kydex holes. And the reason why I did it like that, there's another way to do it, which is to lay the Kydex and the leather over one another before you've bonded, before any adhesive is used, and then you can mark it with a pencil or any number of things, and then use a hole punch and punch your leather holes, and then lay it back over and rivet them together. I hope you can understand why I wouldn't do that. They're just too many holes. If I misaligned even like a handful of them, it would be a total lost cause. So to get an exact alignment, I bonded them first, and then I used the holes that already existed in the Kydex as guide holes to drill through the leather. Then it leaves you with, leather doesn't really drill that well. It leaves it, lots of loose and chunky spots, like just sticking off and flopping around, so you couldn't put the eyelets in yet. So I had to then go around and snip out all the chunks from 300 plus eyelets. So it was just an extremely time consuming process. Just to give you guys an idea. So this thing has 9 eyelets in it. The amount of time it takes me to mark, drill, and then set eyelets in this sheath is something like 3 minutes, maybe 5 minutes if something goes catastrophically wrong and I have to go back and like redo something. With this thing, I think I spent over 8 hours just doing the eyelets. So I'm not complaining. I'm just telling you right up front that if you want to order something like this, like I said, I would love to build another one. I think this is an incredibly versatile mounting system. And for those of you who are going out and hiking and spending a lot of time in the woods and you got things on you, man, this would be a really sweet thing to consider getting. But I want to be 100% transparent with you guys that the price point is going to be high. Obviously, if it's taking 2 full work days where I can't do anything else but focus on this, I just have to make sure that I'm meeting my expenses and not doing it in vain, too low of a price or something that I can't justify, ignoring the other orders that I have going on. I think you guys understand that whole concept. But anyway, I'll stop beating a dead horse on that. Contact me if you're interested in a quote on one of these. I won't be hurt if you guys decide not to get it, or if you have sticker shock or whatever. But I'm giving you the price, the disclaimer up front that it is going to be expensive to get something like this. So Austin paid a pretty penny for it. He said it was totally worth it because he couldn't find anything else out there like it. And I think my price after doing it would probably be higher than what I quoted him, what I did it for him. So Austin, you're probably getting the best deal that will ever go for one of these. But if you guys are interested, just let me know. One thing that I'll say right now is that I think the back plate potentially should be curved. Not sure exactly how or where, and I didn't want to mess with it because I don't know everybody's body size or shape. So I think something like this has got to go out flat. It's got to leave the shop flat like this. But when you get it, if you guys find that you need it to be a little bit more curved and sucked onto your body, just to custom fit your back a little bit better. As you could see when I was turning that it would kind of like make one corner stick up a little bit, like my back would curve away from this flat surface. So if you guys need it to do that, I can coach you through fixing this. All you need is a hairdryer, preferably a heat gun, but a hairdryer would do, and I can definitely help you out with that. You don't want to take this on alone. This is just such a big, expensive piece. You don't want to do it without advice if you haven't worked extensively with Kydex, and it's a whole other animal when you mix leather into it, and then it's a whole other animal when you have eyelets already set in it and you need to bend that part. So don't attempt to do this alone, Austin. If you need this to be bent, contact me. We'll get a phone call going, and I'm going to coach you through the whole thing. I do that free of charge. I just don't want this piece to get messed up for you. So, okay. So anyway, like I said, maybe it should be curved, but it has to leave the shop flat. Just because I can't custom fit it to your back, not knowing your size. A couple things to note. When I was wearing it on my chest with the screws on the back side of it, I did not feel them. I could not feel the hardware on my chest. You might find slightly different results, but I honestly think that just for the fact that the screws are going to be pretty low profile, it's going to be a non-issue. Just trying to think of things that people might say, like questions you might have, like would that hurt your chest to have that hardware? No. Absolutely not. I think just because of the fact that you're going to have so much area, surface area touching you, those little tiny spots are not going to make a difference. I literally did not feel them. Leather over the Kydex, is that bond going to stay on there well for a long time? Yes, absolutely. I've been using it, actually burgundy leather. I've been using this wallet for about a year now, something like that. And I mean, sitting on it, I weigh 240 pounds, and I, sit for a living. Essentially, I sit here in my stool, and then at night I go deliver pizza a lot of nights a week. So I'm always sitting on this thing. I haven't even had any issues with it start to separate. So the bonding process that I use is extremely effective. I'm very happy with that construction technique. So yeah. Anyway, that's all I can think of. If you guys think of other questions, obviously get that going down below. But mostly I want to know what your thoughts are on this kind of carry setup. What you think of wearing one of these while you're out in the woods. It's not heavy. It's not cumbersome. I personally really love, I mean, maybe it's just because I'm a grunt, but I love the feeling of having like a vest essentially like cinched right down tight against you. I mean, I love that feeling. To me, it's super comfortable. And as a way of carrying things, I mean, apart from just buying like an LBV or an IBA or something like that with a bunch of MOLLE on it and hooking it wherever, this is the only thing out there I can think of like that. And this is far more versatile as far as the position and angle of all the equipment goes. So, all right, I think I've talked myself stupid on this because I'm probably repeating things now. But guys, if you like this project, if you like this video, hit that like button. Definitely share this with all your friends. Comment down below and let me know what you think of this. Let me know if you've seen any kind of alternatives to this or anything else you think I could do to improve this kind of system and make it a little more viable for a bigger audience, I guess. Like I said, it is currently about as universal, I think, as it gets. So I'm super excited about it. My fingers are straight. I just realized that I had my middle finger. I'm not flipping you guys off, I promise. I love you. I appreciate your patronage. Oh, man. I'm like a walking foot in mouth sometimes. It's amazing. Like everything I do is just a giant metaphorical foot in the mouth. All right, guys. Thank you for sticking around. I know this is a long video, but I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you get a good sense of how versatile this is. And real quick, in case I didn't say it, end user, you're probably going to want to cut the straps. I leave it this long so that you can customize it to your size. But leave a little excess so you can adjust for weight gain or for cold weather versus warm weather. Obviously, you'll be wearing thicker clothing. So, okay, that's all I got for you guys. I'm sorry for dragging this out. I'm sorry for being so disorganized. I should make talking points next time I do a video this involved. But if you guys like this, hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Comment down below. Share it with your buddies. And stick around for the next one. Thanks for tuning in, guys. God bless.